What do you do if your freebie, opt-in, lead magnet, whatever you want to call it, is still not working? You're not getting the signups that you should be getting every day. Well, there's two things you can do. The first thing you want to look at is what you already have and see if it can be improved. The second thing you want to do if step one didn't work is think about a new opt-in. So I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how I just went through this process myself with my 11-year-old blog that I'm trying to revive. But first, just a super quick bit of context about the 11-year-old blog. It is 11 years old. Most of the content on it is about crafts and craft tutorials. I hadn't touched it for years until this summer when I decided I wanted to pick it back up again and use it kind of as a case study / blog experimentation lab so that I could try things out. It also has an email list of about 1,100 people, but I only get about 30 new subscribers a month. That's what I'm looking to improve. How can I get more subscribers every month? So it's a two-step process. The first step is going to be the more simple step, because if we can fix it with something simple, then why would we try it the hard way? And the first step is seeing what I already have and whether or not I can improve it. So the opt-in for the old blog was free printables. So this is what the old opt-in form looked like for those free printables. It's a disaster, and we're going to walk through it step by step to see why it's a disaster. So let's start with this headline. Don't forget to tell them. What am I talking about? Like, imagine that you are somebody just arriving at this page and this form comes in front of your eyeballs and it says, don't forget to tell them. You're going to be like, what? Who? What am I telling people? What are you talking about? It makes no sense. There is zero clarity. I swear, like, I want to pretend in my mind that I didn't write this, but I did. So the headline needed to change, like, immediately. It's a no. It's a no for me. And then we have the pretty printable with the thanks I made it slogan on it, which is fine. Like, it's pretty. It's, it probably is eye-catching. It is to me, at least. But then we have underneath that plus 6 more styles. 6 more styles of what? I haven't even told you what this is, what you're getting. 6 more styles of what? And why not just show the 6 more styles or show some additional styles? So far, just a complete, other than the image, complete disaster. Okay, so subheading needed to be changed. Now I get to finally a headline that at least tells you what you are going to get. Get the free thanks I made it printables. So now we finally know, and hopefully you haven't already clicked away from this, closed it out or scrolled past it before you figured out that, okay, if I sign up, I'm going to get free printables, and they probably look like that picture I just saw. So that's good, but also there's still like a lack of clarity here because get the free thanks I made it printables. What does that mean exactly? So that could be a little bit better too. I do clarify a little bit in this body text here that's underneath that heading. Around here, we have a crafty mantra, thanks I made it. Because don't we all love to say that whenever someone asks, where did you get that? Grab the free printables and hang one in your own crafty corner for when you need a reminder. And I have a typo too, a reminder to be creative. So this is probably the best bit of copy on this forum. Unfortunately, it's probably the last bit of copy that anybody would read, if they read it at all. One thing that I'll say that I don't like about this that I will absolutely change is the we. I do not have a mouse in my pocket. It's just me. I don't know what I was thinking when I did we. It always drives me crazy when I see that. So that'll get switched to I. I, to me, in this context, is going to be a lot more relatable and personal. So that's going to get changed. So let's look at all the changes that I did make. So here's the new form. I'm starting with just the image. I've added a couple of the different styles, which I think helps to see that, like, oh, there's a variety of these things. But the image itself is pretty and eye-catching and all that stuff. Then we've got the headline that has changed. All crafty people love to say, thanks, I made it. So this could be better still, but it's at least speaking to somebody specific, crafty people. And it gives a little bit more context in a very short amount of words as far as like why do we care about this thanks I made it thing. And then I go into, just like with the previous one, a little bit more context with that in the body text. So I made some pretty art with that saying, and it has become my crafty mantra. Notice I'm saying I and my at this point. When I'm reminding myself why I need to take time to make something, grab the free printables and hang one in your own crafty corner for when you need a reminder. Still have the typo. Probably doesn't matter that there's the typo there. So I like the body of this much better. It feels more personal and relatable to me with the I and the my. And there's that little bit of a visual story that I'm trying to plant into their head with hang one in your own crafty corner. Like now you see the printables and then you're like, oh yeah, I could hang that in my craft room. I could put that over my craft table. So much better than the previous form. Overall, Send Me the Pretty Printables is good on the button. That copy's good. So some improvements and better. So those were the copy changes that I made. That's not all that I did. The other thing that I did was I changed the placement of where the opt-in form was. So if my site, it has ads on it. So ads are super distracting. And the last thing you want to do is add in additional distractions. And this form was originally a pop-up. Pop-ups are immensely distracting. And with a site with ads, that's not the experience that I wanted. Most of the people that are coming to these craft posts are coming from Pinterest. It's very easy for someone to come from Pinterest to your site and go, oh, a lot of ads, oh, pop up, and then go, I'm just going to go back to Pinterest. So that's not the experience that I wanted for the readers that are coming. I'm not getting rid of the ads because they make money. But I could at least change the form so that it was a little bit less intrusive. And so instead of a pop-up, I made it an embedded form, and I embedded it kind of strategically into different spots in those craft posts. So as an example, this is a list post that has the form embedded in it. I didn't put it right at the top. I didn't put it at the bottom. I put it kind of like a third of the way through the list of items that are in that post so that I wasn't like completely hijacking the post with the opt-in form. Like you were getting what you were here for, the items in the list. And then I introduce it with just a little like, hey, I have something else for you. I know you're in the middle of the list. Sorry to interrupt. And then they can, choose to opt into the form or not. They can just scroll right past it if they don't want it. There's no pop-up to close out the embedded form. In my mind, the embedded form was going to work a lot better. And spoiler alert, it did not work better. But it did work better in the sense that this is a better reading experience for the person coming from Pinterest to the site. So although after giving it 3 weeks with the new form and the new placement, although I did not really, there was no improvement really in the amount of people. It might have even been a little bit worse, the amount of people signing up. I at least know that embedded form improved the reading experience on the site. So for that alone, it's worth it. So after the 3 weeks went by and, I would check periodically to see, like, am I getting more signups? Is anybody else, is this doing any better whatsoever? When 3 weeks went by and the answer was no to that each time I checked, I knew it was time to start thinking about, okay, we've got to move on to that more difficult change, the second step in this process where we're going to actually have to change what the opt-in, what that lead magnet is. Like, what are people opting into? That was going to need to change. So the thanks I made it printables are going away. I'll still use them. I'll put them in a welcome email or something just as a little free gift to people that sign up, but it's not going to be what you're actually opting into. So once the decision was made, I need a new opt-in. Luckily, I was doing a lot of research for posts on different craft sites. So I was seeing what other craft blogs were using as their opt-in. And there were basically two things for almost every single site. And that was either sign up for my free newsletter and get all the updates or something to that effect. Or a lot of people are using, do you want this post in your inbox? Which basically you put your email address in, you're going to get that post in your inbox, but that person's also going to be signed up for your newsletter. Now, I really don't like the second one at all, and I'll tell you why. I think it's a nice idea to have the option to get the post in your inbox, but when you think about what that person is actually signing up for, they're not signing up for you to email them weekly. They're signing up because they want that specific post in their inbox. And so I don't like that. I don't like setting up that expectation of getting a post in your inbox and then they're not also expecting to hear from you every week. So number 2 was out for me. And number 1, I was having a fight between my gut and my brain. My gut was like, you've been doing this for 11 years. You know that is not what you're supposed to do for an opt-in. Sign up for my newsletter is not a great opt-in. You're supposed to be adding some type of free value in addition to getting the weekly newsletter. My gut was like, nah, that's not it. That is not it. But my brain was like, all of these people are doing it. It has to be working in some way or else people wouldn't be doing it. And so I went with a compromise between my brain and my gut. I am going to do a sign up for my newsletter, but I'm going to do it with a little bit more specificity. So instead of just sign up for my newsletter, it's going to be sign up for Mary Beth's Mess newsletter and get one awesome, quick, easy craft tutorial in your inbox every Sunday. That should be something that is valuable to someone that loves to do crafts and enticing than just sign up for updates. Like, why do I want updates? I want crafts. Like, it's a lot more specific. So the idea is having that more specific newsletter and having an expectation of exactly what you're going to get from the newsletter every week is going to be a lot more enticing for people to sign up. And therefore, I will hopefully get more signups every month than just 30. So that's my next project. Because I told you this is the harder thing to do, because now I need to actually implement a new form, a new email series. I got to start putting the crafts together. Luckily, I have tons of craft tutorials already on the blog that I can repurpose for the newsletters. But that's going to take a little bit of time to actually set up. I'm going to work on it this week. I will do the same as I did with the previous changes, give it about 3-4 weeks to see if anything changes, if I do start getting more signups. And then I will certainly update you on how things are going. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get the update video when I record it. But also you can follow along, if you haven't already, with this whole series where I'm updating this 11-year-old blog. It's the Is Blogging Dead playlist, so feel free to do that too. Questions, comments, whatever, put them in the comments below, and I will be back soon. I'll be back before a few weeks with other stuff, but I'll be back in a few weeks with an update specifically on this.